Hello, this is our bioethics project by Toby Bolte and Mike Letcher, and our amazing senior citizen is my uncle, Joe Huber, who is the young age of 70. And the first question we're going to ask is, where did you grow up, Joe, and was it in Cincinnati or what part of town?
Hyde Park.
In Hyde Park? Ooh, very ritzy area.
Wrong.
Wrong?
Not the rich Hyde Park.
Okay. And where'd you go to high school, Joe?
Only one, Purcell. Not the other one, just plain Purcell.
Just Purcell.
That's correct.
Not Purcell.
No.
Marion.
No, no, don't
No,
say
not
that.
that.
That's bad. Purcell.
Just for sale.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen the other one.
Did you play any sports in high school, Joe?
I attempted all them sports.
You attempted.
Well, I played 4 years of football.
Okay. Do you have any good stories from your football years at Purcell?
I can't repeat them.
Oh, you can? Are they that?
No. No, I can't repeat them.
Do you have any maybe famous players that were on your team?
Yes, there was one famous, the best football player that ever came out of the city of Cincinnati.
And who was that?
Roger Staubach.
Really?
Yes.
Are you friends with him, Joe?
We try to be friends.
Another question that our friend came up with was, you were alive when the highway system was put into the Cincinnati area.
That's correct.
Was that a big influence on the Cincinnati area, or do you remember, like, did that influence you in any way?
Sure did. I went 112 miles an hour. And a cop came up behind me. I saw this dot back there. And I slowed down. I, matter of fact, slowed down to about 40. And he came up alongside of me, wound down at the window. He said, "If you don't get the thing going faster, I'm going to give your ass a ticket." So I proceeded to go on.
So, but do you remember when they put the highways
Yeah, I
in,
remember.
like, what, like, neighborhoods, and, like, did you know anyone who maybe, like, when they put them
I
in?
kicked out? No.
No.
No, because it was 75 that I remember well.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any good ones, Mike, here that you can
Turn this off.
maybe think of by any chance that you had?
Okay.
Oh, I got another one.
Well,
Where?
there wasn't any roads in town, north to
No.
south. I mean, you
Mhm.
could get anywhere. You had either, there was a highway called Lachlan Highway,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you used to have to use to get it north of Cincinnati.
Was the traffic bad on it?
Uh,
Probably better than a lot of the highways
Well,
now.
I think what forced the highway to get in 75 was GE, of course. Okay, and then the other thing I remember about 75, both my grandparents got killed on 75.
Mm.
So that was, you can't forget that.
Mhm.
That was one of the last times they showed people in wrecks. They actually showed my grandfather coming out of pulling him out of the car and carrying him away. He was all bloodied up. And that's the last time they got that close and showed people.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lovely Channel 9 news.
Joe, where did you go to college?
I went to night school at X.
Mhm.
And I didn't go to college that much. I learned all my stuff in the United States Air Force.
Oh, there we go. And what was your job, Joe? I don't really remember before you retired at your.
Well, they put me in data processing. I couldn't even spell data processing, let alone what data processing was. Do you know what data processing was?
I couldn't tell you what data processing is.
Well, it was the old IBM 80-column card, about this big, and had 12, 11, 0 through 9. And by punching holes in those cards is how they kept track of your social security number, your name, your address, and that type of thing.
Mhm.
So that's what they taught me.
So was the data processing for the Air Force?
Yes, yeah, yes.
So it was keeping track of the people in the Air Force then?
Everything from vehicles, people, anything that had to do with life, paychecks.
And did you do that your whole life?
34 and a half years after
Wow.
the service,
Mm-mm.
data processing.
Did it change? Did it change a lot?
Oh yes, it went from the 80-column card, and then for a small period of time, IBM thought they were going to wit everybody out, and they went to a 96-column card that was real small, that didn't go over that big. And then they eventually went to doing away with the card I said, "Well, how can they do this? What can I look at if they took the card away?
Mhm.
How do I make these changes? You know?" So they did away with the card and they just made it on tape. You know?
Tape. Yeah, the cassette tape.
Yeah. And that's how they processed it. And made corrections that way. So I saw all those changes.
Did it go anywhere past the tape, or were you retired at that point?
Tape. No, they went to a big disc where they sorted all this. Well, they had first magnetic tape that they used to sort them on,
Mm-hmm.
and then they went to the big disc that they, I don't know, 9-channel, 12-channel disc. You could put a whole daggone city on them and sort them out and all that. So,
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so the progress of technology.
oh yes, I've seen it all change.
That's cool. Let's find there. So you.
Well, one of the best things I did while doing data processing after out of service is I did the Indiana State Fair.
Okay.
If I'm creating the award sheets where the judge would judge them, they'd send the sheets back in, and we'd create a paycheck and pay the people.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yes.
step 1 to step 10, that type of thing.
What is your opinion on the new technology? What was your favorite step of it in terms of how easy it was? Did it get easier or
Oh, it always got easier, but then it got to a point where I just said, well, it's time to. I believe in youth.
mhm.
When it's time to move out, let the young kids come in and take over. So that's what they had a lot easier time with PCs than I did because they were all using Macs in grade school and high school,
Mhm.
And they said Macs were really easier than the PCs, but still, PCs is still out there in the business world right now. Apparently, I think the Macs were easier. Apparently, I never worked on a Mac though, but just from what people said, they were easier to operate than the PCs.
They're really expensive?
So,
Yeah.
and then you went from the little computer machine, and then look what you're down to now. Just a simple little iPad does everything. I mean,
mhm.
It's made by the people who make the Macs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess they're doing pretty well.
You probably got more K on there, and you'd have to fill up all these rooms with the store stuff before. Now you can store that right on it.
They used to be
Simple
the
machine.
computer itself was the entire room.
Yeah.
Did you when you were doing the data processing, that was the computer you were using with the cards, or was it?
We started using. When I started with that. It was the cards, and then eventually it got away from the cards, and they just fed the information right into the computer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you'd have a reader, and it'd write the tape, and then you'd sort it, and then you would print it out the way you wanted it to, just to put it in basic. Read the information on the card, or that was on the tape. Sorted it any way you want, whether it was in Social Security number or by name, and then print that information out that you want.
It's crazy that they did that for so many bits of information. What is your favorite city?
Oh, Cincinnati, of course.
Like Cincinnati. Have you gone to any other cities that you've really liked?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any interesting travel stories?
I travel to Vegas every year to see football games. One of the best football teams in the country I watch. Bishop Gorman. I'm sure you St. X players are familiar with one of the best high school teams in the country.
No,
Bishop Gorman.
never.
You should look it up.
How do you know about that school?
My cousin's kids go there, and I've been going to their football games for 10 or 12 years.
Mhm.
Wow.
So,
And he plays for. Doesn't he play college football as well?
yeah, the one does. He plays for the University of Nevada now.
That's awesome. When you grew up, Joe, did you how do you think life now for kids is different than, or I mean, obviously it is different than when you were growing up, but do you think it's as different as like
Night and day.
you think
Yes,
it is?
Well, when I grew up, it was, you left the house early in the morning, you didn't come back until, night, and you didn't have to worry about a safety problem or any type of thing like that. You didn't have any problems like that. You didn't have, TV wasn't that popular, That's really dating me, but TV was, and we didn't have games to play at home like you guys. A lot of kids don't get out. And they
Yeah.
sit around and watch your Xbox and that stuff and play video games on that. What is it? Call of Duty's a favorite one.
Call of Duty, yeah, that's a popular one.
Shoot 'em up. Oh, you're not supposed to shoot 'em up anyway, right? They might black this out, won't they? If you use the G word or something.
You'd be surprised at what comes out of Mr.
my
Wilkins'
God.
mouth.
Yeah, you would be.
Oh. But it's a lot easier, I think, for everybody.
Do you think you grew up in a time that was better for kids, or do you
I
think
grew up
now it's better?
And me and my buddies. See, I got a friend that I knew since I was 5 years old, and we still go out maybe once a quarter, get together. We still talk old times and that type of thing, and we still say that we lived in a great time. I mean, that we either during the summers were great. You either swam, you played ball, and if you didn't play baseball, you could play basketball, anything all summer long.
You were always outside,
Always outside, always outside.
compared to how it is now, where everyone's.
I think they're all inside.
It's true. It's right. It's very true.
I mean, and you need some exercise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I need a lot right now.
I heard you like to golf, Toby was telling me.
I'm one of the worst golfers there is, but I do like to golf.
Hey, if you have fun.
I took the game up late in life. I didn't start enough. Right now, it's killing